Am I?
Good morning, everyone. How can you find some of the best analytics, data, HR data, all the kinds of cutting edge topics available to us here in the Caribbean? So it's not as easy as just coming to any old conference, listening to any old speakers. At the moment, that kind of expertise is available in only a few places in the world online where you can get complete access to it. One of those places is the Academy for Innovation in HR. And today we have a very special guest, all the way from the Netherlands, Nyasha Mupfumi. I think I got that right that time. Great. So Nasha is the partner manager at the AIHR, the largest online HR community in the world, with over 500,000 monthly visitors from 140 countries. AIHR trains HR professionals in more than 325 of the Fortune 500. National partners with HR associations to be more practical and in-demand L&D initiatives that train HR professionals on using data, digital solutions, and having a sense of business acumen to help them become strategic partners to their business. Now, one of the reasons that we reached out to AIHR is that we've gotten a good number of requests from folks in our community and on our conference that they want analytics training. They want data training. They want the kind of things that are very difficult to source unless you have a deep well of expertise. So we're great. It's great to have Nasha here, and I'm really just here to introduce him and hand over to Sam. But maybe Nasha could give us an overview of AIHR just to introduce the company, and I'll step away and maybe I'll put some questions in the chat.
Fantastic. Thank you, Francis. Good morning to all of you guys. A very bright and early morning. I think Francis gave a quite in-depth introduction into who I am and my role there. But I think the easiest way to really get to know me is if I tell you a bit about my family. So I'll start off with one of the oldest people in my family, which is my grandfather. So growing up, my mom and my grandma always told me stories about my grandfather being a very wise old man. So think of your typical wise person who doesn't use Google or doesn't actually have a smartphone to fact check things, but is typically always right in certain aspects. So my grandmother used to always try to cheat him out of his wisdom, so to say. And one day she walked up to him and said, "Okay, I'm definitely going to get you this time. In my hands, I have a butterfly. And I want you to tell me, Mr. Wise Old Man, is the butterfly alive or dead?" So obviously my grandmother, uh, her thought process was if my grandfather said it's alive, she's going to squish it. You see a dead butterfly, so he's wrong. But if my grandfather said it's dead, she was just going to open up her hand and the butterfly was going to fly away, and he's still wrong. So pretty much no way my grandfather could win here. But I'm curious to know, what do you guys think my grandfather responded? Could you quickly type it in the chat function? There's more than two options. It could be alive, dead, or something else. Put your hand in water first and see what happens. He stayed quiet. Fantastic. Whatever you wish it to be. Alive. No, great. These are great responses. Well, to get the true answer to it all, he smiled. Wait, no. To get the true answer to it all, you have to wait till the end of the presentation. It very much ties into the reason why we're all here today. I think we're all here for a common reason in particular, and that common reason is we all unanimously know and are well informed that HR is the most important function within an organization. If anyone is to disagree, please use one of the fun and cool emoticons that we have in the chat to just let me know if this is not it. No, I think we're all on the same page. Perfect. I'm going to move this screen down here so I can still see your beautiful faces whilst I present, and I would love to give you an understanding into who we are as an academy. So as Francis already mentioned, we're the Academy to Innovate HR. And as all of you already know, our forum is currently going under a massive transformation. And this massive transformation is to develop a specialized HR community within mostly English-speaking countries and territories within the Caribbean. With this comes the need for new skills for their members. And when it comes to the need for new skills, the question that comes before you even identify the skills is, why would I invest in upskilling? What's the importance of me getting new skills? From all the conversations I've had at AIHR and also just with individuals such as Francis, these three main aspects highlighted the need for new skills. Individuals are looking to improve their skills so they can improve team performance. So this is better player within the team and really elevating where your team can be, offering an opportunity to grow. These are personal and professional development opportunities that enhance your skill set, hence upskilling, and have more impact on the business, where HR should truly be seen as a strategic partner to the organization and therefore drive business impact. How CaribHRForum and AIHR want to go about this is by evolving HR in itself. And this is where we came in to partner up with CaribHRForum, as it's our mission to very much future-proof the evolution of HR. So at the Academy to Innovate HR, we go about doing this by providing practical and in-depth HR-specific training to thousands of professionals worldwide. Our courses are accredited by SHRM and the HRCI, and we very quality in the way we deliver our learning towards. How we came into existence is 5 years ago, our founders, and if I could also drop a quick fun fact, this week actually marks our 5-year anniversary, and tonight we have a final dinner kickoff, so I will be having a great night celebrating 5 years of AIHR. I thought what better way to do it than to kick off this partnership with CaribHRForum. But back to the story. 5 years ago, we started off as a blog where one of our founders was focusing on analytics in HR. Wrote a lot of content around this, and people kept asking, you keep writing stuff around this, but do you train, do you teach it as well? Then this developed into our first course and eventually the academy we are today. And the reason why we still stay relevant and why upskilling still stays relevant in today's society is because 87% of organizations are facing a skills gap or will face one within the next 5 years. And one alone, over 50% of HR employees need to be or upskilled. How we do this is by focusing on competency building. So a lot of questions people may ask is, how does, and in front of you right now, we see the future of HR as being T-shaped. So what is T-shaped? It's no longer sufficient enough to only have a functional competence. So think of your functional competence as your L&D specialist, your compensation and benefits specialist, your recruiter. It's no longer sufficient enough to only have functional competencies. You need to develop competencies within these 4 other key areas. Having data-driven skills, so being able to make data-driven decisions by using data to provide insights into making your decisions. Having business acumen skills, this is where the HR becomes more strategic, partner to the business and drives value to the organization from a business perspective. Having digital integration, I believe the pandemic was an eye-opener for this. HR being able to leverage technology to not only make employees' lives more efficient and effective in what they do, but the organization as a whole. And something HR has always been good at, being a people's advocate. So very much being able to create the right journeys, the right culture fits, and always having the employee at the heart of the experience. I'm curious to know, which skills do you need to work on most given your idea of this framework? If you could just drop in the chat A, B, C, D, or E. Okay, I see Francis, data-driven A. Samantha A. Perfect. Anyone focusing on the business acumen, digital integration, people's advocate, or functional competence side? Okay. Padmini, I apologize if I don't pronounce your names correctly. I'm Zimbabwean myself, so a lot of these names are not common in my own language. It's outside of English. Okay, I see two C's and a B. Perfect. And I assume no one needs to put people's advocate because we're already really good at that. This is fantastic. Okay, this is great insight because now comes the question, once you find that these are skills that you really want to work on, how do you then go about building competence within these three key areas? From the conversations I've had, a lot of e-learning providers usually just focus on one component, which is knowledge. So providing you with the academic foundation into understanding an entire concept. From experience, we've seen that this is not the only component that really builds competence. You need to focus on all three of them, but also incorporate two of them. The other two are skills and experience, making it practical, but also making it able to transfer it into your own working environment. So as members of CaribHRForum, this is how you would go through a competency building when it comes to learning. You'll experience knowledge through lessons. So these are video lessons, reading materials, and quizzes to test if you've truly retained and understood the knowledge. After each component, you'll be faced with a quiz to see if you've understood the knowledge and if you're comfortable and confident enough to move on with the material itself. Next, you'll through practice. So this is where you'll be in an environment that allows you to go through practical assignments, case studies, and role plays. And a quote that's closely attached to this is, you don't become a good cook by simply watching the cooking channel. You actively have to go into the kitchen and learn how to prepare that dish. Same thing with skills through practice. You have to be in an environment that allows you to be able to perfect these skills. And we facilitate this through practical assignments, case studies, and role plays. The third part is we strive to be learning partners with CaribHRForum, but also with its members. And in doing so, we enable learners with checklists, toolkits, and templates that they can immediately transfer into their working environment. So how will this look for someone? I'm just going to pick out a random name. How will this look for you, Samantha? So you would be able to actually go into your own working environment and proactively start using it within your work. And that's how you actively build real world application on the skills you're actively attaining. But this is not enough. In order to make learning truly effective, it needs to be fun and engaging. So I'm curious to know, what would make learning more fun and engaging for you? You can just drop a quick example in the comment section. By the way, I am really enjoying the liveliness of the audience. So please keep it going. Any examples of how to make learning more fun and engaging for yourselves? Using all tools available to reach different preferences. Okay, that's great. Using technology. Gamification, indeed. Gamification is a big one. Engaging hands-on activities, experiential learning. I love experiential learning. Okay, whilst most of you still think of how to make learning more fun and engaging, I'll continue into how we try practically do this. We try and make learning engaging and practical for everyone by very much accommodating to everyone's preference. So platform, it's 100% online. So all learning is on demand and you can schedule it around your own availability and flexibility. There's a large resource library where you can find everything related around HR, from academic accredited sources to case studies to webinars. So you're always well in depth with your academic foundation. Most people don't like learning alone, and learning cannot only be done in a vacuum. This is why we facilitate one of the world's largest online active communities with HR professionals from all across the globe. So here's where you can find best practices from people all the way down in South Africa to Australia, to the US, to the Netherlands, to the UK, and so forth. And here's where our learners like to engage with networking opportunities, sharing best practices, and peer-to-peer reviews on certain articles they're writing or even interventions they're about to do in their own organization. How successful will this be? Apart from this, we also have a career center where, apart from just learning, you're able to leverage what you've learned in your professional working environment, and in doing so, proactively keep implementing it. And also for individuals on the hunt for jobs, it also boosts your opportunity at also also achieving employment. There's also personal coaching, where you'll be assigned a personal coach for your entire access period. And this personal coach is there to very much create a learning journey for you and to see how best can you approach learning and how best can you make it effective. You're pretty much a accountability partner. So anytime you're falling off, they'll always nudge you. And if you ever need more deep understanding, you're always free and available to have a Zoom meeting, so face-to-face, or a phone call to just pick up from where you left off. And for people with time sensitivity, also upskilling fast tracks. Apart from this, there's a lot of live events, opportunities to be put on the spotlight, and there's a lot of opportunities to actually create your own learning culture within the platform itself. And it's also hosted on Mighty Networks, so something very familiar to CaribHRForum members. So the most important question of today is, how important is learning to me? I'll just give you three options. So is it your top priority A, one of your top priorities B, or not on your priority list at all? C. Feel free to just drop it in the chat. Okay, I see B, 2 A's, another B. I see another A. Perfect. I can assume that this audience is very much keeping learning on their top priority list, which is perfect and shows you came to the right presentation as well. So when it comes to keeping learning as your top priority, this is a reason why CaribHRForum and the Academy to Innovate AHR came into partnership. We've partnered to provide you, the members of CaribHRForum, with a discounted learning opportunity at our Academy e-learning courses, and to also collaborate on a variety of continuous learning initiatives that we'll have in place for you, the members of CaribHRForum, in the future. At the moment, this is all accessible through the partner page of CaribHRForum that allows you to access our entire portfolio of learning. So there's something for everyone, be it you want to be more strategic to the organization, become more of a leader, have more analytical skills, be more digitally integrated, focus on diversity and inclusion, and so much more. There is always a program for you that's in-depth, practical, and experiential. In order to get an understanding of how people have gone through this, there's also customer reviews where you can see your peers' experiences with this program to see, is it truly a fit for you, and is it something that you will very much benefit of when accessing the learning. Our portfolio, as I explained, is I'll say inexhaustible, but it is exhaustible. But it focuses on everything that is HR, and it does have something for you. I sent you out a list of most of these, but this is just a visual representation to get a better overview of what is on offer. And as I explained, you get to learn the way you prefer, by yourself, with a colleague. So invite your colleague to join along too, and also find access to this, or with the professional, with all the HR professionals from all across the globe. You're in control of your learning. Your course coach is there to guide you, and the community is there to support you. So you're never truly learning alone, and you're always there with the guidance and support you need. So back to hand, and I think it's easier if you see my face for this one. Um, I'll stop sharing. So back to the main question at hand. I had asked when my grandmother went up to my grandfather with the butterfly in her hand and asked my grandfather, is it alive or is it dead? A few of you managed to put in some answers. I think mainly one of them was correct, more correct than the rest, but everyone could be correct here. But the true answer that my grandfather gave, because he was such a wise man, he looked at my grandmother in the eye and said, well, it's very much in your hands. So whatever you do with it depends on its fate. Same with when it comes to upskilling and your learning and your professional career. It's very much in your hands. What you do with it determines its fate. And this is why CaribHRForum and I and the Academy to Innovate HR came into partnership to provide you with that opportunity to continuously upskill your professional career and have continuous learning available to you on demand. So you guys will do with it, given all this information is now in your hands, and would you be up to continuously upskill your professional career? I see. I hope the butterfly lived. it's in your hands, Nicola. So you let me know. But that is who we are as an academy. I hope this was very insightful for most of you. I'm curious to know what questions you have after this doesn't matter. What questions you have after this presentation? Thank you. Any questions?
Oops, I turn my light on. Nasha, that was just wonderful. I'm ready to sign up. Is how I feel about it. So my question is, how do I get my discount? And I'm ready to go, ready to sign up. I love the analytical certificate. I looked through that, and I think what we are missing a lot of in the Caribbean in HR, in my experience, is the analytic piece and data driven and analytics. And I think that's where we really need to beef up. If we want to sit in the boardrooms and we want HR to have a real voice, we have to know all about the numbers. We have to know how they impact the business. And so I think that's really important that all of our HR colleagues across the region are tops on that. And we do have persons who are really good on that already, but I think across the board that's something that everybody should be doing. So I think that's great. Are there any questions? Dale wants to know what's the prize for the person who got it right. Who got your butterfly story right? What's the prize?
Well, I think almost everyone got it right. But if I look up, someone got it more correct. I just can't see. There's a lot of things in the comments, but I think I everyone's a winner today because you now do have that opportunity to either decide if the butterflies are alive or dead, and the prize, which I'm going to drop in the chat right now, is it's a free mini course. It highlights and gives a good representation of everything we
Lovely.
spoke about. So this will be the knowledge component, skills, and experience, and it focuses on the future of work. So how are you able to very much prepare for the future of work? And I'm curious to hear all your thoughts and feedback on it. I just dropped a huge link.
Okay, fantastic. Yes,
so I hope you all save that and keep it to the side.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, so we definitely we really do want to take a greater look at that, and we'll be talking about it for the rest of the conference. We'll be talking about it. So look out for some great interest from us. Anybody has any more questions? There's a question. All right. Is there a particular AI system that is used in the course?
A particular artificial intelligence system that's used in the course. At this moment, I'll say no from the top of my own knowledge, but there is a particular AI system used prior to the course. It's a skills assessment and a learning journey creator. So with the skills assessment, it sees how T-shaped you are after answering a few practical questions. So how often do you measure what you do at work against your KPIs, or how do you leverage technology to make certain things more efficient? And it measures your level of competence when it comes to being T-shaped. And from there, it can produce a learning journey for you that would help you bridge this gap. So that's the only piece of AI we use prior to the program. But in the program itself, no AI. But there is teachings around AI, so machine learning and so forth.
All right. Very impressive. Very impressive. Well, thank you so much. Are there any more questions? Anyone else? All right. Okay. So thank you so much. And Nasha, we thank you. It's early for us, but I think it's probably a little late for you. You're like 6 hours ahead of us. So
Yeah,
it's early for us, but we are awake now. We are bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and we started off our day on a great note. So thank you so much for being with us and taking the time to come and to talk with us this morning. All right, so we got a lot of thank yous coming out in the chat. We really are appreciative. And so everyone, we are going to be moving over shortly over to presentation hall, where we are going to kick off our welcome for today and our first keynote. And so we're really excited about that. So everybody just, there is a button at the top of the screen where you can click. I'm seeing, I don't think it's enabled yet, as we just have 1.5 minutes to go. But I'm just going to drop the link here in the chat. So that you can move over to presentation hall. I hope there are no errors in that link. I think that's the right link. So you can move over to presentation hall, as we are right now in hands-on hall. And so we're going to move over to presentation hall for our first session for today.